What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, tigerfitness.com. All your sport nutrition needs, from creatine to protein to these nifty energy drinks from Ghost, MTS Nutrition, Cage Muscle, Axe and Sledge. Thousands of products, hundreds of brands. We got you. tigerfitness.com. Let's talk about the University of Michigan beating Washington in the national championship game. What made Michigan the best team in college football? I know a lot of you haters are gonna be like, oh, they were stealing signs. Oh, Harbaugh's a cheater. Okay. Well, the thing is, they did the time, right? Harbaugh was suspended for many games, of which my good friend Coach Sharon Moore took over and led the team to victories versus Penn State, versus Ohio State. So they did get caught doing something, which we can argue a lot of teams do it, but besides the point, they did the time. Okay, they served the punishment. So now at the end of the year, there's no sign stealing. There's none of that weird stuff going on. Yet they go on without their head coach to win out the rest of the year, including beating Ohio State. Harbaugh comes back. They beat Alabama in an amazing game, and then they rout the University of Washington. So just so you guys know, I have no tie to the University of Michigan, other than my brother did go to Michigan, other than my brother's been a fan for a long time. I am homeless when it comes to a favorite football team. And here's why. My dad went to University of Miami, the U, didn't play ball. He was a nerdy Jewish accountant. And I always wanted to play for the U. I wanted to play D1. I ended up going D3. Nobody cares about Division III football. So here we are. The reason I am a Michigan fan right now is because of Coach Sharon Moore, period. That's it. He's my bro. I support what he does. And because of that connection, because of going to the Indiana game and having sideline passes, my 10-year-old who loves football, it's his life, he loves the Wolverines. He loves it, and I'm watching this game like I'm watching my brother succeed. And that's pretty much how I look at it, because that's how we do. We support our friends. So I'm going to speak as objectively as possible and use this as a coaching moment as a coach, okay, for coaches. I'm going to be coaching some high school now. I currently coach athletes, strength, performance at Legacy at Carbon. We got, most of the All-State team go to Legacy at Carbon now. We are absolutely crushing it. So I know myself some coaching. But when I look at building a program, when I look at building a team, when I look at building an athlete, even when I look at building legacy, there's one thing, and again, I can't mention legacy without my partner, Bryce Beal, who is the man, the greatest coach in the world. I'll put that out there right now. When I look at building a program, I don't necessarily look for the best athletes. Obviously, you need great athletes, right? But look at the Division I level. Every team has really good athletes, especially with the transfer portal. That kid from Alabama, the center who had a couple fumbles, he's at Ohio State now. He's already been in the portal. He's somewhere else. So every team has really good players, okay? When I look at building it, yeah, I want talent. I personally like to recruit from the line out. I think if you have a strong line, I always say to my players, because I coach little kid football, I'm not at Sharon's level. I always say if the line plays, we all eat. That's why I do this for my kids. If we have a good game, if we win, even if we lose, I'll be honest, I just like kids, but we don't lose. I buy the whole team donuts, but I tell the team that the line said that these are our donuts, but we'd like to share. Because everybody gets those, like the big touchdowns and the catches and the runs. Nobody even looks at the line unless you play line, unless they point it out on TV. No one knows that when Edwards broke those 2 runs, he ran through the friggin', dude, they parted the sea like Moses up in that thing. People don't look at that. So I always like to have a line. And Michigan does that. Coach Sharon has recruited and developed the best line in the country, to the point where they lost an All-American lineman, slotted right in, and they're still dominant. They have, I think, 7 guys on Michigan's offensive line who are projected to go to the NFL. Put that in perspective, only 5 of them actually play. So when one goes down, they have another 2 to fill it. So you got to realize those guys get injured a lot. It's every play you're going head to head with someone. Every play you're hitting. Every play is a hard battle. So you have a guy who builds a huge, great offensive line. And the one thing you notice, that I'm not by any means throwing shade, I was on the Dion train this year as well. I think everybody was caught up in Dion, but a lot of it's about, look at what I got. Look at my car. Look at my bling. Look at my swag. Whereas with Michigan, you don't see Blake Corum doing that. You don't see JJ doing that. You don't see Jim Harbaugh doing that. You don't see Coach Sharon doing that. What you see is a group of men who, when interviewed about the success of their team, literally talk about their team. There's no I, there's no me. It's all about my team. I was listening to Blake Corum talking. I'm like, this man is amazing. Everything was giving props to his coaches, to his line, to JJ. So I look at what they've built, what Harbaugh has built over at the University of Michigan with the help of his amazing coaching staff. And I look at it, I say that should be a model for all coaches. Well, they're cheaters. Dude, shut up. Shut up. Dude, what happened? Okay, it's a competitive game. Things happen. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But I'll tell you this. When faced with adversity, because if that happened to Colorado with Dion's whole prime time-ish, do you think for a second they would have come together as a team? No, they would have been like, I already got the bag. I already got the bag. I got the bag. I got the bag. I got the bag. Do you ever hear Sharon talking about the bag? No. He's out there worried about a couple things, right? If you listen to how they speak, the tearful speech after the Penn State victory, holding Blake Corum. If you look at these things, they care about their team. And this is in no order. They care about family, team and family, which unites them. And as someone who has been just got a glimpse of the Michigan family, spending time on the sideline with these people, they're a family. Like, Michigan is a family. The players and the coaches, they're all a family. So they have team, they have family, which do kind of interject. It's like if you had a Venn diagram, they overlap. There's definitely an overlap in those circles right here, right? There's an overlap. And then there's God. You'll see them praying in the end zone. So there is this belief in this higher existential power that drives them to be better teammates, to be better family men, to be better people, to be better citizens. I remember I told you guys I was a fan of the University of Miami because my father went there, and we never missed a game. I'll still never forget when they lost to BYU. I believe it was the season opener, and Ty Detmer just lit them up. I'll never forget that game. I watched every game. Remember convicts versus Catholics? Remember when Miami had all those guys being arrested every weekend for committing crimes? Nebraska had 3 dudes basically thrown behind bars in 1 year for beating up their girlfriends. What you see at Michigan is you don't have those disciplinary issues. One, because they recruit good kids. They recruit good people, good human beings, and they develop them. Okay? They develop them. Like their linebacker junior went right to Ravenwood High School. That's where my kids go. Okay? So there's this homegrown, and Junior comes from good family. Look up his history. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but look up Junior. Dude's, it's a story. And that's the kind of person that goes to the University of Michigan. And this is someone who just this year became a fan. I didn't know they were going to be national champions. I just knew that I was going to support my friend who coaches. And I've been loosely supporting him, but it's like, all right, well, I'm all in now. Let's go. And then that one bye, my son the reason I can't go to more games is because my son plays his games on Saturday, or else I'd be at every home Michigan game. The Big House is electric. To play in that stadium with the history, I believe it's the number 3 public school. It's the number 10 ranked school, number 3 public school in education. It's such a rich history. And then you look at the football team, you look at Tom Brady, you look at everything that's come out of that. Now you got J.J. McCarthy, who's just crazy and is going to be a great player in the NFL, I believe. Blake Corum, Edwards, you look at these guys and what made them achieve. So a lot of players play the game, but it comes down to if the coach is actually able to make that player give that extra, to make that player that step faster, to make him want it more. And playing for yourself like you see with University of Colorado, and I don't mean to poop on the University of Colorado, I just really think there's couldn't be a more stark contrast than Colorado versus Michigan, in that with Michigan, when stuff gets hard, you have a bunch of individuals playing a game. For the University of Michigan, when stuff gets hard, you have a team playing a game. So when you're playing for more than just yourself, when you're playing for your team, when you're playing for God, when you're playing for family, it's much more than just trying to buy a new gold chain. Much more. And I think that this year, watching the University of Michigan and being a part, at least in my own little indirect way, of such an amazing program, of being to the game, of witnessing the sideline and how the coaches interact with the players, how the players interact with each other. It was different than anything I've ever seen. And I literally coach college athletes. We try to have the same atmosphere at Legacy, and we do. Man, I mean, yesterday I have a video, I'm not going to post it, but I have a video of, we have a kid who goes to Franklin High, okay? And he's doing a really large individual, right? Really big dude. And he's doing Nordic curls. And we had he's a lineman. We had two skill positions holding down his legs so he could do Nordic curls because no one was strong enough to cut him. But these are kids who play against each other. But what we like to create is that team, because they're training together, they're all trying to get better. Sure, they're trying to rip each other's heads off when the season comes around. They're all vying for the same scholarships, which is hard to come by in high school now because you have the portal and you have JUCO. But I mean, I look at what we create, and I look at University of Michigan, and love them or hate them, Ohio State fan or not, whether you think they cheated or not, don't care. I want you to just look at what that team overcame this year. I want you to notice how they come together. I want you to watch some of their post-game press conferences and see how they talk. I want you to listen to how Harbaugh talks. Who has it better than us? Nobody. Have you ever seen a coach so excited for his players that he cries? I've done it. I've done it on this channel. But that's the difference. So you could take all the NIL money, you could take all the gold chains and the Rolls Royces and the Rollies and whatever they do. At the end of the day, sport will always be, usually, and there are caveats, it will usually be won by the better coach team who has better individuals who come together as a team. Let me know your thoughts. I know it's a little different for this channel, but man, one can only talk about curls and squats so much. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. I'm Marc Lobliner, again, tigerfitness.com. That's my site. That's how I make my money. Please go support it. That's not a game. The outright bar was created for my kids. My kids need a snack to eat during soccer tournaments, and also I wanted a bar for myself to eat pre-workout, post-workout, and also throughout the day. You want your outright bars right now. That's why we have a partnership going with the Vitamin Shop to make sure that we're in all 750 plus locations, providing the best price, the best service, the best people to give you the outright bar when and where you need it.